Hi, hi everybody. We got Ben here and myself who we're going on Instagram, we got TikTok. We're just wanting to take a moment, talk about why being independent, being a 1099 would be a good fit for you. We're not going to talk about taxes or give tax advice. Talk to your accountant,
Yeah,
your
that's
attorney,
right.
whoever's licensed to do that. We're just here to talk about like we've both been 1099 W2 and we want to talk about like why would it maybe be a good idea for you to get out of your comfort and salary position to be paid for your value, your time, and your effort more so than just your time only.
Yeah, and I think that's actually one of the main points right there, right? It's like you have the ability to create your income. What effort you put into something is what you get out of it. We grow up seeing that in everything we do. You train more for a sport, you're able to excel and do well in that sport. Well, why is that any different from how you should get paid, right? So we end up getting stuck because I think most people do, because we want to make more of a stable income. We want to make something that's going to be there no matter what. We don't realize that those types of jobs can actually limit our progress, our growth, and ultimately our income. We know some agents that have been in the industry for many years, and when they come over and they start doing this as a 1099, they almost instantly, I'm sure that you can agree, the thought is like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Yeah.
And if you do the math, or if they do the math, it could be a little shocking for them to see how much money they've left on the table over the years.
Right.
So it is important to analyze the pros and the cons of being able to work in this industry as a 1099 as opposed to doing it as a W-2 employee, right? So to cover a couple of those things, we're going to discuss some points, maybe some pros and some cons that we're going to roll off the top of our heads. And I think the first one I want to go over is when you do this as a 1099, what's the most important thing for you in comparison to the W-2? Like, what's the first thing you think of?
Yeah. I came from a really good W2 job where I had to make like 200 phone calls a day, get 4 or 5 hours of talk time, and I learned an extreme level of discipline. I call it like a call muscle or a sales muscle that you have to build. And it's literally like going to the gym. Anybody who's been a big gym goer and then gotten back into the gym, you know it's extremely difficult the first 2 to 4 weeks. Can be excruciatingly painful. Basketball, gym, and I equate that to this job directly in that there is a muscle that has to be built sitting in a call center, cubicle, or even just door knocking. Those are two separate muscles, being able to door knock. Some people would prefer that over sitting in a cubicle and calling all day because at least you're driving, you're out and about, you're listening to music in between appointments.
Yeah.
That's an option. But if you're going to be in a call center, because we're going to have a lot of remote people, or at your home, you need to be able to sit in the chair and focus on your own initiative for a pretty good length of time, and not, it's really easy for time to slip away.
Yeah.
You go in there and you take a shower. You worked out that morning and you need to change clothes, or you don't feel comfortable and you need to shave, or whatever the case may be. All these random options are available when you work from home. And that's also why it's good to have an office. If you're in your location, you don't have an office, you have to have the discipline. So really it's going to come down to, underneath everything, confidence. Are you confident in your ability? Because
I'm glad you said that, because I
that's what
just
it is.
wanted to put one thing before I forget, but sorry I cut you off. But
That's fine.
It's a matter of discipline and being consistent that I think develops that comfort more than anything in a W-2, and we just don't notice it. We know that the paycheck's going to be there, so we commit to the paycheck and we're willing to do all the motions. But the thing is, imagine if you can just put yourself into that same framework in a 1099 and you're disciplined with your time, how you do your calls, how you do your work the same way.
Yeah.
But you're going to be able to produce and make a lot more money, right? And I think that's maybe one of the things that a lot of people miss out on is like, you're already committing to the W-2. You're committing to the amount of money. Well, realize like on a 1099, you can commit to however much money you're willing to make.
Yeah.
So it's just, you have to put yourself into a position where you're willing to go all in and
Yep.
you're willing to do whatever it takes to get up to that. And you know, just like you said, work those muscles and do what you have to do to be good at it, because then you'll have the confidence. Then you'll have the certainty and the security that you can do it, right?
Yeah.
The more repetition you put in, the more you see yourself succeed with it, because you'll go through more failures, you'll fix that, and you'll become better. And ultimately, you will grow that way. Just like, I like your gym analogy because it's the same thing. It's like you're working your muscle. You have to break down the muscle to build it up. Well, you got to go through some tough times on the phones so you can become better at your job.
Yeah.
And when you do that, when you realize that you got to commit to the failures too, you will inevitably grow as long as you stay persistent, right? So you want to just make sure that you're not giving up, but don't give up the possibility of making a lot more income that could change your life, your family's life, right? It's the same work, right? The next thing I want to talk about in terms of like, you know, another pro and con in this industry with regard to doing this as a salary or doing it as a 1099. And hey, some people choose to do this as a salary because they find it more beneficial for their lifestyle, whatever. I mean, it's fine. The thing is, you know, I'll be bold and be out there and say that it's small think to just go with the salary, because you're ultimately harming yourself in capping your ability, your growth, your potential, your income. So,
but what about the benefits, Ben? I mean, like, I'd be giving up my benefits.
that was the next thing I was going to go into, right? I'm glad that you said that, because, you know, one of the things that you see, for example, when you come to LC Financial Group, you are a 1099 employee. So you are your own business owner. It's your business. What does that mean is all of the free leads that we provide our agents are theirs. It is their own book of business that they are creating. Mm-hmm. And what that means is all of these identities, these people, which essentially is what you need in order to have a business. You need a, you know, like an audience, or you need a target for sales. We're giving them to you. You keep them. The day that you walk out of here, if you ever decide to, because I don't know, something didn't work out, or you just decided you wanted to go do something else.
Yeah.
Those are your people. You take that with you. We do not own that. That's yours. In a salaried position, right? Or a licensed only agent in some agencies is what they call it, an LOA agent. It is a obscene benefit to the company to have those agents that way, because if those agents ever leave, since they're on a salary, hey, who gets to keep that book of business?
Company.
The company does. And this isn't to knock any of those companies either. You know, they're upfront about it. They make it clear. In fact, at some point, we may have a section of our business that turns into something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the point is that we make it clear, and we tell the person when they come on board, and we say, hey, you don't own your book of business, but you will make this much money. Do you understand that? Do you agree with those terms? Fine. Right? So everything's open. You know, nothing is hidden. We currently don't have that business model. However, my point is, if I'm really looking out for the individual, I recommend they do 1099.
Yeah, I want to be able to actually provide. I agree with that, because I've been 1099 for the last 4 years, but I do actually want to be able to provide the ability or option for someone to work an hourly set schedule, part-time and full-time. I always recommend starting out full-time, by the way, and actually putting in overtime and anything new, just so you can get it down fully. So that way, with later, you do put the 40, the 20, the 10, 15 hours, because you can still get a lot done in that time. I want you to actually know what you're doing and be extremely effective with that time, but you need to give it like a really good full-time effort in the beginning, no matter what you're doing. But with the salary, I want to provide that opportunity for agents to be able to come in, sit down, make calls, get paid hourly or salary with benefits. That will be an option in the future, which is awesome for anyone who's here now, to create those offices throughout the country in all 50 states.
Yeah, I like that you said that, because it's almost like what we're forming here is a bit of a hybrid in terms of we run our organization as 1099. However, we like to schedule the people, and we make it clear, obviously, they have to agree with it. And if not, then they don't fit in with the way that we do things, and that's okay, right? But for example, the people that are on calls, that are on live transfer calls, they have to commit to a 9-to-5 schedule so that they can get those inbound leads, and we're not wasting any of our own resources, time, or money.
Right.
Right? So the thing is that we are giving the person the opportunity to do something where they can grow. And like you said, you know, if you can come in and you have the benefit of a salary while you're learning to do your job and get up and going, perhaps we do that for some time, right? You do that for a little bit of time so that you're able to actually get things done, get acquainted with the position, but it's agreed, you know, on both sides that this is only going to be temporary. Once the person's up to a certain production capacity, then, hey, by the way, you're now going to be a 1099. That's also a possibility, right?
Right.
So one of the things I love is that our company is so versatile in its ability to expand and grow that we're not opposed to anything. We're ultimately going to do what's the greatest good for the individuals in our organization as well as for the organization itself.
Yeah.
So that's something that's been up in the air as far as what we're going to do toward the future with that. As of right now, all of our employees are 1099, and we're still helping them improve and grow as they, improve their craft and get better at selling insurance.
Yeah, and I want to throw one thing in there. If you're a life insurance agent out there and you're like, hey, I don't know, I've heard about this, maybe I want to do Medicare, maybe I want to do auto, or maybe I do auto and I want to do life, like maybe you want to do all of them. But I will tell you, I had a lady yesterday who had originally reached out to me to get life insurance, and she had reached out to me and, you know, we weren't able to get the life insurance done. She had a little bit of a trust issue, whatever the case may be. What we ended up doing was she reached out to me, hey, can you do the Medicare? I said, yes. We helped her get her Medicare done. She was extremely happy with the results that we were able to get for her. And then she's like, oh, by the way, can I get that life insurance now that we talked about before? Her son's name is Benjamin.
Oh.
And so made me think of that as well. Because like she really was passionate about wanting to leave something to her son.
Nice.
And I was like, let's get the Medicare thing done because it's an immediate thing that you have your attention on. Great. Okay, we've got that fixed. Oh, by the way, can we do this? So we're able to help that person even more. And it was all on one phone call because, you know, you have to make sure you're staying compliant. But she originally reached out to me for life insurance. Mm-hmm. I offered the opportunity to help Medicare. We set up an appointment for Medicare. We did the Medicare appointment. She then asked me if she could get life insurance from me. We did another thing to get that done. So you got to separate it out. Make sure you stay compliant, follow the proper rules and guidelines that you can see with your carrier or that you're contracted with. But nonetheless, you still have the ability to follow the ways in which you can legally and ethically do cross-selling.
Yeah.
And you can help your client. They're happier. They can call one person. And if you're an agent out there and you're in any kind of insurance of any kind or any business where you feel like, man, I have to turn people away for Medicare or auto or whatever, you don't have to do that here. We'll be expanding on all of those avenues. Maybe it's health insurance earlier than age 65. Is that AC? I'm not familiar with that industry, but I know people that have asked about that. And I'm sure that if somebody wants to really do that in the future, they'll have the ability to do so. I don't think there's any limitations with Innovative Financial Group, who we're partnered with at Team LCFG, LC Financial Group.
Yeah, I have no idea where our future lies in terms of how big we're going to grow, but I just know that we don't look at anything as an impossibility. Everything is possible. If it's an insurance and we can make it happen without making it a problem and it just adds value to our customers, I think that's something we're always going to consider and we're always going to push to make happen. You know, it's another thing that I was going to say a little while ago was just like Griffin took care of that lady. Imagine a year from now, if he was salaried, he was W-2 a year from now, that lady's going to call him and he had gone somewhere else and she's not going to be able to work with you. You know,
right.
Or you could try, but then you'd be stepping on some legal, into some legal situations possibly, and nobody wants to go that route. So it's like, it's just a shame. It's like, wouldn't you want to do everything you possibly can, not just for yourself, but for your clients, right? So when you're a 1099, you offer yourself as a lifetime purveyor of assistance to these people. And that's honestly the most important thing, because you want to build up a book of business that you can continue to generate, business from while you're helping individuals. And so I think that the 1099 structure is the best one for you as an agent, as an individual, so that you can continue to grow personally, financially, and that allows you to take care of your clients from now until whenever.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, there's clients that I signed up in 2019 that I would still be getting paid on. Mm-hmm. But because every time you change an organization, typically in some cases, depending on how your marketing organization's set up with who you're offering insurance through, we call it an insurance marketing organization. If you're with an IMO that holds your money and then pays you, they hold those renewals. And they can decide whether they're going to let you continue to get those renewals or not. Here, you're paid direct from the carrier when it comes to life insurance. And with the Medicare, you're also paid lifetime on your renewals as well. So when I left my prior company, I lost all of my renewals for the last 4 years.
Wow.
All of them. And that's like...
And what made you decide to do that? Why would you leave 4 years of renewals?
Well, because not only were the renewals limited at 10 years, so most carriers, you get paid for 10 years on life insurance whenever you sign a customer up. But also, if that client calls me in 5 years and they want some help, I'm going to help them.
Yeah.
Whether they're my client or not, I will help them. And so that's what you're getting paid to do, is be there with them for life, and they have that go-to person that they can trust and reach easily. Because that's a big complaint with people that are on the phones, is hold times, customer service is poor, and frustration with robotic phone systems that they have to call into. We eliminate that for people. That's the value add.
Yeah.
But getting paid on those renewals long term, no matter where I go or what I do, if I want to go start being a plumber tomorrow, I can still get paid my Medicare and life renewals.
Yeah.
That's really important to me. I would give up the book of business because where I was at, my commissions were cut in half.
Wow.
So, and also there's no over 10, several carriers don't pay the renewals, but also they wouldn't pay you beyond 10 years. We have a carrier right now, Aetna, that we offer for Medicare and for life insurance. They pay lifetime renewals on their final expense product. A lot of people don't know that.
Wow.
They pay you a very nice percentage on the renewals. So I have
shout out to Aetna.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, I mean, I like that carrier a lot. They're great to work with for many different reasons. And we have 20 other carriers that people can be with, and you can just write business with the carrier that you prefer. Maybe you're riding with Americo, or you're riding with Royal Neighbors, or you're riding with another carrier, and that's like your go-to. You love that carrier because you understand them and you work with them. And maybe that's that way in Medicare. We have all of that available here with an extremely great capacity for a top producer to come in and grow their own business within the business. Like you said, they can then help other people achieve the knowledge that they've achieved, and help other people go through the hurdles that they went through, and they can do it in their style in accordance with what's already laid down for them to go in and create a business within a business. And the sky's the limit. There is no limitation. And
I like the way you put that. It's true.
you can do it as fast as you want to do it. And that's important for people to know. You don't have to take a long time to do it. This is not some quick, get rich quick thing.
Oh yeah, we say that on every hire call, like every opportunity call that we do with a new hire. We make it clear, especially if they've never been in the industry. We make sure that they understand this is not a get rich quick, but this is a get rich for sure. If you put in the work and you do what you're supposed to do, you commit to learning this in and out, to doing what Griffin said, which is like working it full time and even overtime when you're starting off, and you put in the work. This is an industry that will pay you and continue to pay you. So yeah, it's not get rich quick, but it's get rich for sure. It's a very delayed gratification industry, and that's why you don't see a lot of people, because everyone wants to get that money right now. And you know what? You're not going to get that instantly, but you will get it for sure if you just go all in and make this your number one.
Right, totally.
So,
thank you for being here. This was perfect. I mean, we can cover anything else that you want to.
I think we covered everything. We got to leave some stuff for the rest of the week. And
we got to be able to do this as often as possible, just to put the message out there. We've been doing this for years. It's been great. I've had a lot of jobs, and I wanted to find a job where I could spend the next 30 years. That's what I've been looking for. I've been looking for a career. We have the right people in place that have a great track record of longevity. This is not something that's some small startup that just happened. There's a lot of layers of protection in the business that we're in.
Yes.
I could make a whole video on that.
You know what? That's a good point to end off on, so we can pick up from there tomorrow.
That's what we'll cover tomorrow.
Yeah, we can do that. And then as always, want to thank everybody that tuned in and anyone that will tune in. And if you guys can, as usual, just give us a thumbs up and any feedback on anything that we could do better. We'd appreciate that. If you want to contact us, reach out to us. You want to get onto a call and just get more information, or someone that could benefit from making contact with us, by all means, refer us. We love referrals, and we'll take all your questions and calls and emails, whatever it is. You can message us directly on social media, and we're always going to get in touch with you and answer back as soon as we can. So reach out to us, LC Financial Group. You can hit up Griffin Henderson himself, and obviously you can reach out to me, Benjamin Angee, or even our CEO, Ryan Lodi. Shout out to him as usual, giving us this great opportunity. Such a great company, and he's always making himself available for anyone that wants to reach out, which I think is awesome. Our leadership is available to anyone. Yep. We don't put people behind any screens or doors or whatever. It's like we're all here, we're people, and we want to connect with everybody on a personal level. So thank you guys so much. Did you want to say something before we head out?
Last thing, 15 seconds. If you're a top producer somewhere and you feel like your potential is not realized by yourself or who you're working with, you can come here and grow as fast as you want to, as quickly as you want to. You're not limited at time. There's not some made up time frame that we have that limits you to this and that. Or we'll get very specific with what's needed and wanted for you to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So it's extremely clear cut, check a box, and you know what you need to do to come in and be the very best version of yourself and grow as fast as you want to in this business. Thank you very much, Ben. Thank you guys for coming out. We're going to do this again tomorrow. You guys have a great day.
See you guys later.